On any given night, there's 53,000 people suffering from homelessness in the greater Los Angeles area.
Homeward LA is a project designed
to inspire the community to take more action.
I got a group of writers together, and we met with individuals who have experienced homelessness and identified stories from their lives, and then developed those stories as monologues.
Yeah, this is a spot I used to sleep in a couple years ago. It breaks your heart, it breaks your soul. I don't want to die on the sidewalk.
There's a certain freedom in being vulnerable.
For years, I held on to this story, wouldn't tell nobody, so it's helping me to grow.
In our first 2 years, hundreds of actors shared these powerful stories with thousands of audience members, raising over $180,000 to help our unhoused neighbors through a nonprofit on Skid Row called the Midnight Mission.
Like, now I get to reunite with my kids. Now we can start healing, now I get to be a mother again.
Peace, family. Welcome to Homeward Live, presented by Homeward LA, a grassroots project committed to sharing stories from people who've been homeless to inspire the community to take action to end the homeless crisis. We strongly believe it starts with a shared vision of a world where all of our neighbors are housed. Now, I need for you to click this live stream link and share with everyone you know right now, because the CEO of Happyness, he's an award-winning author. He went from homelessness to successful businessman. He wrote the book, The Pursuit of Happyness, and produced the film with Will Smith, The Pursuit of Happyness, excuse me. I'm so excited and pumped up. Chris Gardner will be with us later in the program. I'm Shaun Baker. It is my tremendous honor and pleasure to be your host for this very special Homeward Live finale. Now, I'm so honored to share a story from a remarkable man who went through homelessness and learned about ballroom dancing while he was in prison. His name is Greg. I always thought I was a leader, but the truth is, I never led nothing but myself to the penitentiary. This time I led myself there for the dumbest reason yet. I caught me a suspended license charge and got 3 years. 3 years for driving without a license. So there I was, 35 years old, fourth time locked up, lying on the cold concrete floor, sweating the dope out of my system. See, I never thought I'd amount to much. Never thought I'd get married, never thought I'd be a good father. My daughter's mother wouldn't even let me see her when I was locked up. I get to talk to her a bit on the phone, but she just asked, "Why you keep going to jail?" I had no good answer. About 18 months into my sentence, I got in a special program for drug and alcohol treatment. Now, I still wasn't admitting I had a problem, but special programs were less violent, quieter. You can go to the library without somebody saying, "Hey, what you reading a book for?" One day, a guard tapes up a flyer on the bars. I walk over and see it said, "Come learn ballroom dancing." Then it had, "Learn how to follow before you know how to lead." Other guys are like, "Ain't tripping. Ain't nobody coming in here to teach us how to ballroom dance." I personally thought it was some sort of joke. Nobody signed up. But that week, I started thinking, there'll probably be some women there teaching that class, so maybe I should check this ballroom thing out. I guess I wasn't the only one who had that thought, because 8 of us decided to go. Now, they had to walk us through another cell block to get to the class. Men were yelling from their cells, hey, where y'all going? Where y'all going? Now, I didn't say nothing. I mean, you're walking through a prison, man, with murderers and stuff, and you say, hey, I'm going ballroom dancing. That's just not a good look. So we get to the class, and a bunch of old white ladies looking like grandmas stand up. It was weird. But then I noticed they brought donuts and fresh baked cookies. I said, ooh, we gonna come here every week. Miss Colleen, the leader of the group, introduced herself and said we'd be learning the waltz. I was paired with Miss Barbara. She was tall and thin, and she had a Beatles haircut, but dyed red. I could tell she was nervous. Truth is, I was nervous too. I mean, I never danced with a white lady before. I was scared to touch her. Well, I touch her wrong, I might get 5 more years or something. Miss Colleen walked us through the steps. Forward, side, together, back, side, together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the end, Miss Colleen said we should practice with each other between classes. Nobody said a word, but I bet you can guess what we were thinking. No way in hell are we dancing with each other. You know, after the class, I was happy. I mean, to be honest, I might have got 1 or 2 visits a month, and now here are these ladies, and they're gonna come every week. When you're in prison, you see some different people come in, and they're talking to you, and they're bringing you donuts and stuff. It made you feel human. I started thinking about how I used to break dance. I was good. I started thinking about a whole list of things that I loved, that I got away from. I mean, these ladies were waking stuff up in me. After the class, we get back to the cell block, and everybody was like, yeah, it was all right. But before the second class, guys were brushing their teeth and combing their hair. It's a wonderful thing in prison when you have something to look forward to. Week after week, we'd go to the class, and these ladies would love us up. They'd say, you're smart. You are smart guys. You can do this, and you can do that. Aside from my mother, these women were the only people to ever show me unconditional type of love. In fact, my Miss Barbara actually reached out to my daughter and started teaching her ballroom dancing. Week after week, I was remembering who I really was. I was the 5th grader who made the honor roll. I'd done a little college. I was the first black waiter in a fancy restaurant with Douglas Wilder of Virginia used to request me. We were all so inspired. We actually did start dancing with each other. The guards would open up the gates, and you would see a whole line of us practicing our steps. We didn't even care. We didn't even care what the other prisoners thought. Or if we did, we cared about something else much more. The class went on for 4 months, and then we had a graduation. They brought in barbers to cut our hair, and they rented us tuxedos and stuff. I invited my sister and my daughter to be there. The class took place in the chow hall, so we had to walk through that other cell block again. This time we looked like we were headed to the Grammys. Guys were going on and on about how sharp we looked. I said, yeah, we're going ballroom dancing. When we got to the ceremony, there were people there already, city officials and stuff. They all stood up and they clapped as we walked in. Some people spoke for a while, and right before they handed out the certificates, my daughter showed up. They opened up the gates, She just ran to me and I grabbed her. Wow. After the ceremony, they had open dancing, and I got to dance with my daughter, the waltz. I held her, just like I was taught, and led her in those steps. At that moment, I was no longer in prison. She was looking at me like she was my little baby girl again. All I wanted was for my daughter to look at me like that, like I was the father she always wanted me to be. For the first time in a long time, I actually thought I might be able to do that. Mr. Chris Gardner, welcome. Greg, welcome. And thank you both for joining us. It's an honor to have you both with us. How are you guys doing?
I'm fine. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like, I don't know. First time I just watched talk about, you know, a part of my life, man, and like I didn't know the camera was gonna come back on, but I almost had tears in my own eyes. Like, it's just amazing, and just I'm just grateful, man. Thank you. Thank you. I thought that part of my life was really insignificant, but it was a part of my life. So I just want to say thanks. That's it.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, man, you know how we get down. We've been connected from the table read, and I've had the opportunity, the great pleasure and fortune to get to know you and to know really what a wonderful spirit you are, what a wonderful man, what a wonderful father. And so anytime I get the opportunity to honor you and share the story, it is my great honor and pleasure. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to hear your story, and thank you for being here with us. I want to ask how you doing? How you holding up with the pandemic?
I'm doing good in spite of this pandemic has really just taught me something and awakened something in myself, like knowing that I'm not the only person who's really going through this in life. And I'm gaining some type of strength to just keep on going. And it's humbled me. And really, now my focus is just to help others, keep myself straight and help others. And this pandemic it is what it is, but it's been a blessing and a curse in my life, being that I have to just be aware that this is the real life going on. And I have to be serious and just don't take stuff for granted. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I can't just take life for granted because, nobody's promised anything tomorrow, next week, or anything. So I just, will keep praying and keep going forward.
Amen. Amen. I'm with you on that. We got to, stay prayed up, stay on our knees, stay motivated, raise each other up, as, you and I always talk. call each other, hey man, how you doing today? You all right? And I say, hey, I'm feeling like I'm feeling this way, or we really have to now more than ever. We have to think about community and staying connected and uplifting each other. I want to go back and talk a little bit about actually what I'd love to do is share the picture of you and your daughter because it's such a beautiful picture. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that. What?
She's a beautiful lady, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
that was May 31st. I mean, she watching. I hope she don't get mad, but that was 2 years ago. She actually married a respectable young man. He's matter of fact, he's the only guy she ever introduced me to.
Wow.
And I knew growing up that she probably had little boyfriends and stuff, but he's the only guy that she ever introduced me to. And he's a good man. I honestly trust him with my daughter. Like I know she's gonna be safe. But that day was so significant because I never thought that I would be around to even walk my daughter down the aisle. And what really made it great for me, she requested for me to be there. And over the years, I had beat myself up so much thinking that I wasn't a good father or would really, it just really did something to me, my spirit, and being her connected even more. And, she's a beautiful young lady. She's smart. And she don't take no mess off me, like she really helps keeps me in line, man. Like she like, Dad, don't do this, don't do that. Even though I'm 51 and I know right from wrong, but I still lean on her for wisdom, just a good word. So, man, I'm just proud of her. I bought that dress, like on yesterday dress. I told her, she had a budget of, I think it was 1,200, and I actually could do that. A couple years back, when I was under substance problems, man, I wouldn't buy her a candy bar, because I was selfish.
I want
You
to
know,
check out Greg. Mr. Chris Gardner, can you hear us? We
can't
can't
hear
hear.
her.
We're having some technical difficulties. Can you hear us, Mr. Chris Gardner? Okay, we're having some. I know he's coming in from Chicago, so I don't know how the weather is there or what's happening, but there's some technical difficulties. But we'll be back. He, definitely, we'll be back with him shortly. I want to find out from you, Greg, how you actually became homeless. You're doing well for yourself now, but how did you become homeless?
I was living in Virginia. I was married. Um, I just was in a state of denial. Like I had been, excuse me, in and out of prison. I thought I was a drug dealer. That was the first lie I told myself. A monkey can't sell bananas. I can't sell drugs. So basically, my wife, my ex-wife, and my family did an intervention. I went to El Paso, Texas for treatment. And after treatment was over, I didn't want to go back to Virginia, being that I had just did a lot of stuff that I wanted to move away. I wanted to start anew. And it always was in my spirit that I needed to come to California. So I'm an insulin dependent diabetic, and a nurse that was in the facility was telling me that it would be best for me to move to California because of the Medi-Cal and the medical benefits. So I applied for a job online in Orange County. It was a 3-day interview process. The lady that was doing the process, she said that she was gonna give me room and board, while I go through the interview and the hiring process. To make a long story short, I flew out here from El Paso with probably $100. The lady that supposed to be interviewing me and taking me through that process she got sick or something. So nobody else in that office knew that I was coming. So I ended up going to a shelter in Orange County. It was a bus depot that they turned into a shelter. So I slept outside for probably almost a week, like 5.5 days. And I ran into some gentlemen from the Midnight Mission, and they could tell, and I could tell that they were on the same road that I was on with recovery and stuff. So they were like, man, we can take you to the Midnight Mission with us. So I got on van, came into downtown LA on Skid Row, and I thought it was a movie because it was tents and stuff and people, So I was like, man, they must be filming a movie or something. And
not a movie, brother.
Yeah, I went into the Midnight Mission, and that's basically how I became homeless. I came out here with the hopes of a job. It didn't happen. I had to stay on the streets. I slept outside, for like a week, and then I went to the Midnight Mission.
Okay. Now, how long were you actually homeless per se?
I'm gonna say 2 years.
2 years.
Because I was actually homeless in Virginia, and this is what I've learned also. If you don't have your name on a lease, you're homeless.
Yeah. So
even though I was married, my name wasn't on the lease. And at any time with my foolishness that I was doing at that time, my ex-wife would be like, you got to go. And I wanted to go anyway to keep my foolishness going. So, at times I stayed outside in my car or wherever I could. So, yeah, I was homeless like 2 years and change.
Can you share with us what the program is like at the Midnight Mission? Like, what do they do specifically? Because we're actually, I'm sure that's how I met you, partnered up with the Midnight Mission, which is for our viewers, it's an amazing nonprofit organization on Skid Row, and they do great works. But can you tell us a little bit about the program per se?
Excuse me. The Midnight Mission is, I can say, from my journey through the mission is a self-help facility. And what I mean by that is they offer you all the tools that you need if you want to succeed. If for one thing, if you want to be in recovery. The second thing, if you want to become self-sufficient as far as housing, they just connect you with medical, dental, psychologists, therapists. And one big thing that changed me at the Midnight Mission was I started to talk to a therapist, and I got a chance to just look at my life and start pointing fingers at people and realize that it was me. It wasn't nobody else. It was some things that had happened to me at a younger age that I didn't address. I kept holding on to. So the Midnight Mission gave me plenty of tools and opportunities to just become a new person. They really let you experience life for yourself. They got guidelines and barriers you can't step over. Amen. But they made me feel like a person instead of just another number, or just a paycheck. They actually, gave me love when I didn't love myself. They provided meals, clothing. The only thing I had to do was live and be right. So I feel like if somebody offered you a chance to live, the least I could do is do right. So that was my experience at the mission. I stayed there 18 months, almost 2 years. And, I didn't care about people saying, oh, he live in Skid Row. I trusted Skid Row better than Beverly Hills. I'd rather walk down the Skid Row around those people than people in Beverly Hills, because people down Skid Row are genuine. And actually, not saying people in Beverly Hills are not genuine, but the people in Skid Row on the whole, like, want help, needs help. Not everybody, but on the whole, it's just a movement. And the Midnight Mission is the epicenter of that movement in Skid Row.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. I know a lot of people, actually, all of our storytellers came through the Midnight Mission, and we're really thankful for the works that they're doing. Um, I want to find out from you, Greg, what is it, when you were at your lowest, what is the thing that, kept driving you? What was the driving force that kept you going, would you say?
Say just my kids, um, myself, and God always speaks to all of us, and I started listening. I stopped like trying to just be the boss of the world. I wouldn't accept genuine help. I remember one of my counselors was telling me about this movie called Things We Lost in the Fire with Harley Berry and I think the name Benicio del Toro.
Oh, Benicio del Toro, wonderful. Both
Yeah.
wonderful actors.
And she said, Greg, you don't know how to accept love. And it rubbed me the wrong way at first. I'm like, who she thinks she is telling me I don't know how to accept love? This is what I was thinking. But as I looked at my life, a lot of people try to give me love and show me love. And love comes in a multitude of different ways and things. But I didn't, thought that if somebody was trying to help me, they had an ulterior motive. So that was the biggest thing, that motivated me. Like I started accepting love, and really the world is not bad as I thought it was. Everybody's not trying to kill me.
Mr. Chris
because
Gardner,
I'm a black man. So
I got to jump in for a minute. Mr. Chris Gardner.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Can you hear me okay?
Listen, it's such an honor and pleasure to have you with us. I know there were some technical difficulties. You're joining us from your home in Chicago. How are you doing tonight? Welcome. I want to introduce you to Greg. Greg, this is Chris Gardner.
Good to meet you, sir.
Greg.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me okay, first thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let me say this. Let me say this off the bat. Number one, you are not having technical issues. It's me.
It's you. You're live in the flesh.
It's me. Okay, man. I've got 2 new iPhones, 2 new iPads, and a brand new computer.
Wow.
And I'm trying to do all and learn a lot. And it's kind of like, and then you got a house phone.
Okay.
Remember a house phone?
Yes.
Remember these things people used to call you on the house phone?
Right.
Yeah.
Is that a house phone?
That's I'm gonna sell it to the museum. That's a house phone.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Call me like that.
That looks like a remote control, sir.
But that might be the problem.
There you go. Listen, we're so honored to have you, and I'm glad that it all worked out. What a blessing. I want to find out from you, first of all, how are you doing in Chicago? I know you live there. That's your home. How are you holding up? I heard there's a lot of interesting things that are happening.
Let me say this, man. I'm holding up fine. Our city is facing some major challenges and issues. I believe we got good leadership, but we've got some very challenging times here in Chicago on a number of fronts. And some of our challenges are self-inflicted. Okay, some of our challenges right now are self-inflicted, and I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time talking about this, but I will say it is a fact. I guess maybe a weekend, maybe 2 weekends ago, we had over 100 people shot in Chicago. Wow. None of them by the police. Okay?
Wow.
None of them by the police.
Can you speak briefly a little bit about what you think that's about, honestly? Like why are we killing our own? I mean, it's one thing
that's a whole different conversation for a whole nother time. And honestly, to do that justice,
right?
Let's have that. I'll come back.
Yeah.
Or we'll sit down and have this conversation another time.
Yes.
But right now, man, I want to talk about what you guys are doing. I want to talk about the mission. I want to talk about the way forward.
Yes.
And one thing that I did here, first of all, let me say this. Let me back up. I got to ask you a question. Who's going to play you in the movie? You were telling that story about dancing with your daughter. Man, do you know I was sitting over here about to cry? I mean, dancing with your daughter. Think about that for a second, man. I mean, who was it? Luther did that song how many years ago? Dance with my father.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? And you think about that and that relationship. I got to tell you, man, right now, the two most important people in my life are my daughter, my granddaughter, and my goddaughter. That's three of them.
Okay.
All right. Those two little ones, they're in a special place. You gentlemen are too young. You don't have grandchildren. Anybody got grandchildren?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I think you'll agree with me. When you meet that first grandchild, that changes everything.
Yes.
I have one as well. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a whole new ball game now.
Absolutely.
Okay? One of the first things that happen for me, when you meet that first grandbaby, your child becomes obsolete.
You can't tell them that though.
I know, right?
Yeah.
They're old news. I mean, look, you're 35. This baby over here is 9.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
It's a whole different ball game. But what you guys are doing in Los Angeles, I've been to the mission. I've had the chance to visit, and I know the importance of the work that's being done, and I know the challenge. And I would take it a step further and say, honestly, it's about to get a lot more intense.
Yes.
For all of us across the board, because I don't know what the current numbers are, but not too long ago, it was a fact that 30% of all the homeless people in America had jobs and went to work every day. I'm talking about working families, homeless. We're not talking about the guys outside with the cups.
Right.
Yeah.
You never saw us because we were at work. Right?
That's right.
That, unfortunately, sir, that's a phenomenon that's about to happen all over again in our country as a result of COVID and a lack of leadership.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? Working families, homeless. I know for a fact, people who work in the shelters will tell you the faces of people who come into the homeless shelters has changed dramatically.
Okay.
Right? Among those faces are veterans. Too many. Now, we all talk about how much we respect our people who serve in the military. We all talk about how important they are and the value they provide. And we all say those words, meaningless, hollow words, thank you for your service.
Right.
Those words will never be enough. They'll never be enough. Okay? So I don't want to ramble here, but I do have to say again, to show you how I think this thing plays out going forward. I was asked recently, will this time be transformative for our country? And my response is, going back to the idea of the veterans, all the love, respect, and admiration that's being showered on healthcare workers, first responders, and essential employees right now, a lot of those healthcare workers work for city, county, municipal, or state hospitals, meaning they're all public employees. At some point soon, it's going to be contract time.
Guys.
And the question is, will all that love, respect, and admiration be reflected at the bargaining table?
Yeah.
Right? Those are public employees, man. They got families.
Yeah.
So the challenge is also amplified by the fact that, wait a minute, cities, counties, and states have lost tax revenue because of COVID.
Okay.
So how are you going to take care of them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to tell me how important I am. It's something else to show me and my family.
As they say, show money, right?
All right, show me. So that was a long way of answering your question. I'm sorry, but I just think the work that you're doing is so important, man. Every day, and it won't quit. But we can keep going forward.
Absolutely. I want to say to you, we you know, most people know, a lot of people know how, you know, you're a successful businessman, a motivational, a world-renowned motivational speaker, the CEO of Happyness, right? So many accolades. I wanted to find out from you, because I read the book. Here it is. If you haven't read it, and this is incredible. It's just a powerful, just gut-wrenching, and it's so transparent and so naked and raw and so inspiring. And there's a lot of humor. You're a very, very funny man, Chris Gardner. You're a very funny man. I was laughing and crying at the same time. And I could see how it was turned into a film. But I wanted to find out from you, how did you go, for our viewers that maybe haven't seen the movie and haven't read your book, how did you actually go from homelessness to a successful businessman?
All right. First of all, let's say this. Let's do this. Everybody out there who has not seen the film or has not read the book, hang up right now.
Y'all don't need. Matter of fact, we want more people.
Yeah.
More people to tune in. Tell everybody that you know right now. Chris Gardner's here. Greg is here. Shaun Baker's here. This is Homeward Live. This is our Homeward Live finale. So
if you have not seen that film, if you have not seen that film, I'm gonna call Will Smith right now, and Will Smith will come to your house. He will bring some private viewing and make you sit down and watch this movie. All right.
Will Smith did a phenomenal job in the film.
Let me say this about the essence of the question. How do you become homeless? Man, life happens. I've been asked that question many, many times. Was it drugs? No. Was it alcohol? No. There's something just as lethal as both of them. It's called life. Life happens. And the reason I'm putting it that way is because life is happening right now as we speak. Yes. As a result of COVID-19 to people all around the world.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, you know what? If you do a little digging back, February 12th of this year, I had the honor of addressing the United Nations. Now, at this point, I've spoken in 80 countries all around the world. And I'm thinking, okay, this is just, it's just another event. Okay, you go in here. Let me tell you something, man. When you walk through that third level of security and you walk in the front doors and there's a life-size statue of Nelson Mandela standing there with his hand extended in friendship, that's when it hits you. No, this is not just another event. This is the United Nations. This is a big deal.
Yes.
And my point is this. We were talking about how the UN, for the very first time in its history, could begin to address global homelessness. Now, you think about that for a second. That's one of the biggest issues you could ever think of even trying to discuss. They had a lot of public health officials and some public administrators and a couple of politicians speak, and I got to be the last one. And my point was this. Wait a minute. We've heard all the studies, the reports, and seen the data, but we've got to address a couple of other parts of this. Number one, there is a group of people in the world who have a very quiet fear. Working women who are already in too many cases paid less than their male counterparts.
Yeah.
Especially in places like the state of California. They have a very quiet fear of what if something happens? What if I lost my job? What if my husband lost his job? What if there was some economic gyration that happens someplace around the world that has nothing to do with us, but our lives are immediately adversely impacted? The point I'm trying to make is, man, that was February 12th. COVID-19 was already here.
Yeah.
We did not know. So that quiet fear of what if something happens, it came true, right?
Yeah.
So life happened, and it's happening to all of us right now simultaneously.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. It's a lot of different boats out here. I've heard a lot of folks saying, oh, well, we're all in the same boat now. No, we're not. We're in the same storm.
Yeah. There you go.
A lot of different boats out here, okay? You got the boat of people who have the luxury of working from home.
Yes.
That's a different boat from the healthcare workers, the essential employees, and the first responders that must put their health and their family's health at risk to go to work, which is a totally different boat from the tens of millions of people in our country who know there's no work to go back to. And there's another boat out there of folks who don't believe we're in a storm. That was called the Ship of Fools.
You taking us to church today, Chris Gardner? You taking us to church?
Man, look, I'm just telling
That's
you.
profound. It's
We're
profound.
in the same boat. We're in the same storm.
Yeah.
You know, so life happens now, and none of us is going to come out of this without some new scar tissue.
Yeah.
We're all going to come out of this with some new scar tissue. The advantage that some of us have, honestly, and I'm talking about you and me and my brother right here, Greg. Hey, man, we have climbed this mountain before.
Yes.
It may have had a different name,
Yeah.
but it was just as scary, just as steep, just as dangerous.
Yeah.
We've climbed this mountain before, and this is where we can draw down on some of those previous experiences to help us make what I call a hard pivot. A hard pivot is being defined as something you would have never chosen, but you still got to make it work.
I write that down.
No doubt.
Write that down. My production assistant, hard pivot. So you said that one more time, Mr. God.
You would have never chosen, but you still got to make it work. That's a whole lot of folks. We've been in that position before.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to
so
play.
We can draw down on that experience. Man, right now, you cannot see where I'm sitting, but right here, right behind me, I once had the opportunity to ask my dear friend, Dr. Maya Angelou.
Wow.
If you could only read 100 books your whole life, what should they be? She wrote me a list. That's what's right behind me. The reason I bring her name up is because I will never forget her saying to me that we must all be mindful that there are people who came before us, who came up a steeper side of this mountain, carrying a bigger and heavier load with little to no opportunity, but they kept going forward, onward and upward, and still I rise.
Still I rise.
We've done this before.
Yeah. But I'm crying though, Why? But I'm crying though, Mr. Gardner, you know?
You're crying.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like I'm not appreciative. I am, but haven't been appreciative enough of the people who went before me who actually like got the road ready and where we at. And I got a question for you, Mr. Gardner. I know I'm not the interviewer or the host.
Sure you are.
Are you from Chicago?
Man, I'm from a little town north of here, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 90 miles north. And let me tell you how I got there. There's another fantastic book by Dr. Isabel Wilkerson, The Warmth of Other Suns. And she tells the story of this great migration of African Americans leaving the South and how we got to different parts of America. And basically, we followed the trains.
The trains?
There was a train that took the citrus fruit from Florida up through North Carolina and South Carolina, picked up the rice and tobacco to the ports of New York and New Jersey.
Wow.
We followed that train. There was a train that brought the cotton from Alabama and Mississippi up to the ports in Chicago and Lake Michigan. There was a train that took the cotton and the tobacco to the West Coast.
Yes.
That's how we got to California. My point is this. I asked my mom, everybody else in our family wound up in Chicago. How did we wind up in Milwaukee, 90 miles north?
Yeah.
She said, son, the car broke down.
Oh, man. Wow.
The car broke down. We were trying to get to Canada. We was trying to get as far away from Louisiana as we could. We was on the way to Canada. And what the story is, one got a job. They sent for the other one. That one got a job. They sent for the other one. And that's how we got where we are. Okay? Now, though that was a long answer, but that's the story. That's how we got here.
You spoke a little bit about your mom. I'd love for you to share maybe a couple of jewels that your mom gave you.
Let me tell you
warrior queen, beautiful warrior queen, Betty Jean Gardner.
Let me tell you something. First of all, my mama moved to heaven 26 years ago, but we still talk every day.
Amen.
We have the same conversation every day. When you come to my house, you're going to notice the first thing when you walk in the front door, there's the kitchen, and there's a coffee pot, and there's a picture of my mother.
Amen.
And so we have a cup of coffee every morning, me and her. And you talk about jewels, we have the same conversation every day.
Yes.
I hear her voice like I hear yours. Son, did you do your work? Yes, ma'am. Did you pray on it? Yes, ma'am. Well, keep working because God's busy.
Yeah.
God got to help somebody else. You keep working, okay? And the other beautiful, beautiful thing that she shared with me, man, she gave me the greatest gift beyond life. She gave me permission to dream. I had one of those old-fashioned mothers who told me every day, son, you could do or be anything.
Yes.
And I believed it.
Yes.
Right? She said, she did not say you could have anything. She did not say you could buy anything. She did not say that you're guaranteed, assured, owed, or entitled to anything. She said you could do or be anything. And for me, man, that was an even bigger statement. Because if you could do or be anything, all this other stuff will come. So me and Mom's, again, she's been in heaven for 26 years. We talk every day. And let me tell you something. And I know y'all gonna say, Chris Gardner, you're going too far.
No.
My folks from Louisiana. Now I'm saying this, and I don't want nobody in Louisiana to get upset with me, but down in Louisiana, we believe in some different things.
Yes.
We believe in spirits. We believe in a lot of stuff. I believe in it selectively. Man, I got this thing about butterflies. Okay? And just earlier this week, I think it was Tuesday, I was standing out in my garden and a butterfly came and landed on my foot. And didn't just land on my foot, crawled and climbed up my leg. Right? And it's something about butterflies and angels. What do they have in common? They got wings.
Yeah.
No doubt.
They got wings, baby. And when that butterfly crawled up on my leg, man, I stood there I looked at both of my watches. I stood there for 22 minutes. I wasn't going to move. Okay? I was not going to move. And I stood there and I said the name of every spirit, every soul, everybody that ever loved me, that went on and passed on, and I knew they were coming to check on me.
Wow.
Amen.
They come to see how I'm doing, to let me know. Once in a while, you do need that.
Yes.
I think we need it every day of our life.
You know, so
I agree. I agree with you that spirit never dies.
Oh no.
I can attest to, my mother had a similar relationship with my mom, Gloria Mary Baker, who was an incredible warrior queen, and she instilled those same principles. One thing I remember about your book, the idea of saying please and thank you, right? That's big. But just going back to the idea of spirit, I was with my daughter. My daughter lives with my ex-wife and her husband. They live in Texas. And I was rolling along with my daughter in the car. And I started talking to my mom. I said, Mom, your granddaughter's here. Look how beautiful she is. I know if you were here, you would kiss her physically here. You would grab her and kiss her in the neck and say, I poop. She would do, I poop, poop, poop in your ear. And so my daughter's playing some music. And then she puts on this song, right? And I stopped my daughter. I said, why did you play that song? And she says, well, I don't know, Dad. I said, well, did you know, you probably didn't notice. I said, but this was one of your grandmother's favorite songs. And so it was a song when she divorced my father, when I was a kid, she used to play that song by Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. Over and over and over and over. And I started playing that song. I said, my mother's here right now. And I was just like, wow, spirit. That spirit
rolling with you.
Rolling with me.
Rolling with you.
Every day.
Right. And look, now, some folks out there right now are about to say we are going too far.
No, we haven't.
That's how spirits operate, man.
Right.
They don't make no appointment. You don't get no email. You ain't gonna get no text.
Text.
We ain't gonna get no instant message.
Right.
They come when they come.
Right.
But you have to be open.
You have to be open and be available.
Receive.
Amen. Amen.
Because if you ain't open to receive, they ain't gonna come.
Yes.
Right.
Amen.
So, hey man, look here now. We need to take a collection. We should have church right now.
Yeah.
We all going to church here. I want to go back to your passion about working homeless. When Greg was at the Midnight Mission, he actually exercised his entrepreneurial spirit. And Greg, tell us a little bit about your the business that you started when you were at the Midnight Mission.
Oh, it was called Soul Ice. Basically, I was asking around and it got hot. My first summer in LA, and it got hot. And I wanted Italian ice. And if you from the East Coast, you know what Italian ice is.
That's right.
But I was talking a foreign language in LA. They're like, what's Italian ice? They were thinking it's gelato and all of that stuff. So
no,
it's Italian ice.
Right.
So basically I saw the guys, the Mexican guys pushing the little carts. And it hit me. I was like, man, if I could get one of those carts and sell Italian ice, I might make a couple of dollars. So it was kind of hard to get one of those carts because the guy that I went to, he was like, oh, they special make these in Mexico and they 2,000 and all this, but he ended up selling me a cart for $350. I kept Googling. Googling is man, Google to I don't know technology like that. But I found somebody who actually sold Italian ice. So I bought 3-gallon buckets of it for $40. And come to find out, you make $290 off one of those buckets. But anyway, I purchased one of those carts.
Hold up. Let me get this right. You was out there slanging ice.
Yes, sir. Italian ice.
We actually have a picture of the there we go. I love the name. I love the name, Greg. Soul Freeze.
Yeah, Soul Freeze. That's what.
Soul Freeze is in the building. It's happening right now.
Yeah.
You were slanging ice and it's legal and ain't nothing nobody can say to you and you can do it all day.
Right.
All day.
You still in that business?
No, sir. What happened, I had spinal fusion surgery. I had 2 spinal fusion surgeries in 18 months. And that's really an excuse now, but no, I don't. I got a cart, but I'm not active in it.
When you get back to work, you let me know, and you're going to send me cases.
Cases?
Cases.
Oh, okay.
Not one
Cases
case.
to Chicago. Okay.
Gotcha.
Because the place where we have to go in Chicago, man, that line is wrapped around the block.
Wow.
Folks waiting on that Italian ice.
Yeah.
And right now, honestly, just because you said it, as soon as I hang up, I'm gonna drive over there. So when you're ready, you let me know.
Will do. But it was a great experience, like out here in LA, because I got a chance to talk to people, and I went to Santa Monica Beach and was making like $350 to $400 a day. But when I was in Skid Row, I basically was taking whatever somebody had in their pockets for a cup. You know, but when I went to the beach, though, it was $4.
Oh no, it's $4.
Yeah, $4.
And you can cut the serving in half.
He did so well that he actually bought we have a picture of what he got.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My
All
man.
right.
Roll it.
First car. Oh, yeah.
Roll it.
So I'm thinking, where do I sign up for some Italian ices?
You know what, man? Let me tell you something. Just think about that. That experience of becoming an entrepreneur.
Amen.
And the fact that you learned when you move your marketplace, you can move your prices. Right? In Skid Row, you're taking whatever they're going to give you, but you go over to Venice Beach, now it's $5.
Yeah.
And you can do that all day. That experience, the point I'm trying to make, is transferable. Skills, talent, and expertise are transferable. You can transfer everything that you learned in that experience into your next venture.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything that you learn, you transfer that into your next venture. And I'm looking forward to what you're going to do next, Bo.
Yeah. Well, actually, I started a nonprofit called Roots. And Roots stands for Realizing Our Opportunity to Serve. And you said something that just impacted me, like with the mothers. Roots is re-entry. Like, I thought of it, me and 2 other guys, when I was in prison in Virginia. And I got released first. So I said, and I stayed with my word, that I was going to make a sign that says I want to go to jail and go stand in front of City Hall. And that's what I did. And a couple of news people came out and they asked me, why did I want to go to jail? And I told them that I had more help, like as far as health, food, while I was incarcerated. But once released in Virginia, you can't vote. You can't even really walk across the street. So that's what I did. I held the sign in front of City Hall and they gave me a startup office. And you know, now I'm trying to transfer that out here in California, and I will. So that's my next venture and what I'm doing now. But to be honest, this conversation has just been a blessing, because I thought I was crazy, because I talk to my mother every day, and she's been dead. She's been dead since 2004.
No.
You're strong, right?
No.
Yeah.
She is not dead. She moved to heaven.
It's a transition.
There's a difference, right? There's a difference. And if you guys see me moving the camera around a little bit, I had to. My battery was getting low, and I didn't want to lose you. My apologies.
No worries. No worries.
No, man, she's not dead. As long as you're breathing, and whatever positivity you can share with your children and their grandbaby, she's not dead, man. She's still here. She's just using you to speak now. She's using you to act now. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. I've got to tell you, man, at some point, none of us is going to be here. But we can all be here in the souls that we touch.
Amen.
And the lives that we change. while we are here. Right? I mean, that's real wealth. That's not money. That's real wealth. And that's what we should all strive for right now, being wealthy. And when I say wealthy, again, I'm not talking about money. I mean, I'm probably one of the wealthiest people in the world. I'm healthy. I'm probably close to the best shape I've ever been in my life.
Amen.
I'm 66 years old. The average African-American male lives to be 63. So I'm already 3 years ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I've got a small handful of people that love me unconditionally. And I'm in a position to do work that reflects my values.
Wow.
That's wealth.
Amen.
Right? Everybody got more money.
Chris
but
Gardner,
they're more wealthy.
Black don't crack, Chris Gardner.
Man, let me tell you something.
Great,
well,
sir.
it does crack on Sunday when I get in that squat rack.
Hey, I say
Sunday is leg day, man.
I say black don't crack as long as you don't do crack.
Yeah.
Right? That's real. I want to find out from you. Greg told us a lot about Roots, and I want to commend him for his efforts with that. I want to hear about what you're doing now, and then I have one more question, and then we're going to close out. What are you up to now? I know you're doing a lot of you normally travel and do a lot of motivational speaking, but that changed with COVID. So tell us what you're doing now, sir.
Man, I am working harder than I've ever worked in my life. Okay. I spoke in 8 countries last month and never got on a plane. You know, we started off talking about making a hard pivot, right? And doing all my presentations now virtually. And I have to tell you, this is harder. I mean, in my normal world, I'm on a stage in front of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people, but now it's nobody but you and a camera. And you got to bring that same energy to reach people, right? And one of the things that I've done, I found some folks who do and have done some things. I don't know if you've, are you familiar with the great tenor, Andrea Bocelli?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Have you seen him sing Amazing Grace at that church in Milan?
No, I haven't.
When both of you get a chance, I want you to Google that. Andre Bocelli sings Amazing Grace at El Duomo in Milan, Italy.
I'm sure it's on YouTube. I'll definitely look it up.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
The church is empty. He knows it. He goes onto the plaza. It's empty. He knows it. But he sings like he's singing to the entire world.
Wow.
And you can feel it. And you have to bring that same energy, right, every time you do it. I am in the process right now, man, of doing a tour. Man, initially I said I wanted to speak at 100 high schools and middle schools all across America. We go blow through that number. I already did 53 before COVID hit. But we're going to be doing it now virtually. And I'm tremendously excited about the fact that we just signed off on it last week. We're going to do 25 schools in Dallas. But most importantly, man, we come to California.
Okay.
Just this morning, found out 25 schools, Northern California. Call tomorrow, 25 schools, Southern California. And the cool thing is for me, some of the schools that I spoke in, say, for instance, down in Texas, the schools are so large, they got 5,000 students.
Wow.
However, only 800 could fit into the auditorium or the arena. So the principals and teachers have to decide which of the 5,000 gets to come and participate. But now with everybody homeschooling and learning from home, I get to address and reach every student in the school. So tremendously excited about that. And one of the reasons that this is so important to me is I'm making an investment in the future of this country. Okay? This is a human capital investment for me. This is not do good, feel good, we are the world. This is an alternative investment in human capital. And I will say this to you. It's kind of funny how this came to me. I will never forget being in my hometown, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, my old neighborhood. And I'm standing in front of the elementary school that I went to, and I'm watching the children coming and going out of the school doors, and it dawned on me, wait a minute. Oprah Winfrey and I are the same age, same zodiac sign, and went to the same elementary school.
Wow.
Now, how do we know the next Chris Gardner, or more importantly, the next Oprah Winfrey, is not coming and going out of these same school doors at public schools all across this country right now?
Yes.
The truth of the matter is, they are.
Yes.
My job is to let them know that they can. And that's why, man, I am officially now the CEO of Happyness, and I love my job.
There you go.
I love my job, baby.
Gardner, what a delight you are, sir. I want to find out, my final question is for both of you, gentlemen. Greg, I'll start with you. What advice would you give someone who's, I mean, we're all affected by this pandemic, clearly, but what advice would you give someone who is losing hope right now?
Don't look at what's in front of you. Think about and look at what's ahead of you. Like believe in visions, your dreams. Just and I tell myself that. So you know, never like Mr. Gardner was saying, that was instilled in me. Like what I see now is not real. It's what I can't see. That's what's real. And I have to really hold on to my dreams and visions that I had as a kid, and don't let nobody deter that. So this just been a great opportunity. Like, man, you say I got my notebook out, but that's what I would tell, and I tell like people in my house, and they think I'm crazy, but no. If God gives you the ability to think something, He gives you the ability to do it. Like,
my man.
Yeah.
My man.
Got to get out the way.
Write it down, speak it into existence. Absolutely.
And do the work.
And do the work. Yeah.
That's right.
You know
They said faith without works is dead, and that's true.
There you go.
Let me add one thing, if I can, to what my brother was just sharing.
Yes, sir.
I will never forget the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who once, speaking on progress, said, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But you got to keep going forward. To which that I will add that baby steps count too. As long as you're going forward through the fire, through the pain, baby steps in the rain, while all about you being the same, be the player, not the game. You better, I see you over there writing that down. Did you write all that down?
Man, up in the dome. You gotta. You better preach and rap at the same time, sir.
Man, it's been an absolute blessing to be with you all. I apologize again for any initial issues, but LA is very, very important to us, and getting the opportunity to come back to Los Angeles, even though it's virtually, is a big deal. And you know what? We're coming to Virginia too, Bo.
Hey, how can I get your contact information?
Call me.
We'll all get connected for sure. I want to go to your virtual when you're mentoring and inspiring the children. I want to be a part of that and hear and learn for sure. But listen,
get me on LinkedIn, Facebook, any social media. CEO of Happyness. You can't miss me. I'm right there.
Okay.
And I'm looking to hear back from you. All right.
Yes, sir.
Any parting thoughts, gentlemen, before we say goodnight? This has been an amazing, incredible night, and I'm so honored to have both of you with us for Homeward Live. This is our Homeward Live finale, so this is extra special.
Really?
Here at Homeward LA, exactly. Normally we do live events across Los Angeles, but due to the pandemic and COVID-19, we came up with a really unique, creative way to try to stay connected to people, and it's been rewarding in so many
But
ways.
let me ask you
So,
something. Why is this the finale? I mean, this is the time that people need to hear from you more.
well,
Why is this the finale?
we're going to regroup. We showcased 5 storytellers. We call them storytellers. We showcased 5 people. We have so many other stories and so many other folks who obviously are affected by homelessness. And we're definitely, I'm sure we're going to do it again. I'm part of the committee, and we'll be talking about it on our next meeting. We also have a podcast and different things that are coming up. So we're not done. We're just getting started, but we wanted to definitely plant the seed and reach out to folks because people were expecting this Homeward LA event that we normally do every year, and it couldn't happen because of COVID. So we're really excited and honored to have both of you with us. Again, Greg, thank you for giving me the honor to share your story. You've been a blessing to me, brother. You know much. I have great love and respect for you, and we're still connected always. I'll tell Greg all the time, man, call me up. No, man. I said, listen, because my thing is, you never know when we're going through something. You got to pick up the phone. You know, a text is nice, but you pick up the phone and say, hey, man, I'm here for you. God bless you. Love you. Keep building, keep moving. That's what it's all about. It's about community and raising each other up. You know, there's a saying in the community, right? We say, hold me down. No, hold me down, son, hold me down. You know, in the hood, we say, hold me down. And I say, no, we got to be mindful of the words that we say and the things that we speak out of our mouth. Remember, George Floyd was held down almost 9 minutes and it took his life. So I believe as a community, we have to continue to raise each other up. And you guys have raised me up, lifted each other up, and you've definitely lifted our viewers up, I'm sure. So I just want to thank you, gentlemen. And I continue to honor you and praise you. Thank you so much. And be well, Chris Gardner in Chicago. Greg, be well. We'll be in touch. And
I'm texting you. I'm texting you tonight, Mr. Gardner, or something.
I'll be right here, brother. I'll be right here. Look, man, it's been an absolute honor. Absolute honor. And to everybody in LA, peace, power, and prayers.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Peace, power, prayers.
3 P's in the building.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
Oh, wow. What an amazing finale. Talking to Chris Gardner, we're probably going to do Homeward Live again. I got to talk to the committee because this has been so rewarding for me and everybody that I've talked to and everybody in the committee. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. It's just been incredible. Again, thank Chris Gardner and Greg. Thank you all. You can follow us on social media at Homeward LA on Facebook, Homeward LA at Homeward LA Facebook.com, Homeward Los Angeles. Excuse me, Homeward LA. Excuse me. Instagram at Homeward Los Angeles, and on our website, www.homewardla.org. Please leave your email address so that we can stay connected to you and let you know about some wonderful things. And we may be doing a Homeward Live event again. So, and also we have a wonderful podcast, which we're really excited about. And also you can see previous episodes of Homeward Live on our YouTube channel. So go to YouTube and type in Homeward LA. I have to tell you that Greg's story that I had the privilege of sharing and honor of sharing, Greg went through, as you know, we talked about it. He went through the program at the Midnight Mission, and all the storytellers that you heard in the series went through the Midnight Mission, an amazing nonprofit organization on Skid Row. Now, if tonight Greg's story and the CEO of Happyness, Chris Gardner, and Greg inspired you in any way, please give to the Midnight Mission to help them with their efforts. No amount is too small or too large. Now, I have to take a moment because we talk about community with Homeward LA, and I have a community of incredible creative minds, just brilliant, who we always surround each other with love. And I want to go down the list and acknowledge them publicly because this has been an amazing event. Starting with our founder, Mr. Jason Lesner, as he will correct me, Jason Lesner. Also, Emily Finkelstein, Anika Fox, Richard Hochberg, Sarah Isaacson, Brooke Mueller, last but not least, Elle Sassenrath. What an amazing group of individuals. You're going to be hearing more from us at Homeward LA and Homeward Live. We talked about a lot of things tonight about really staying inspired. I know everybody, a lot of us are going through this pandemic and feeling the weight of so many different things. I want to encourage people to stay in the light, stay close to the light, keep staying on your knees and praising whatever you call your higher power, because that's the most important thing right now. And also keep getting back up. I know it's rough at times. You know, you're thinking, oh, well, COVID's got me. I'm worried about COVID. Keep getting back up. I don't know about money. I'm struggling about finances. Keep getting back up. Relationship issues. Keep getting back up. You want, like Muhammad Ali was, who was my greatest inspiration, who was the greatest of all time, in my opinion. Keep giving the best part of yourself, the greatest part of yourself. If you keep staying in the light, keep getting back up, and keep giving the greatest part of yourself, he will do the rest. Take great care of yourself. Keep building, keep climbing, keep shining. We are Homeward LA. I'm Shaun Baker, your host. This is Homeward Live. Peace and good night.